Yeah, welcome to What the Papers Are Saying. My name is Selom Adunu. My guests are Samuel-Atta Mensah and Musa Dankwa. We've looked at the issue about the floor price controversy in the downstream petroleum sector. We are currently looking at the NPP primaries. They signed a peace pact today, and we just looked at the significance of that, whether it matters at all. Now we move on to another segment of that, the polls, or what the delegates think. You remember the famous or infamous talk about fear delegates. Delegates are key in this particular race. It is not a popular vote across the country. It is, just selected people, few people called delegates who will decide who the flag bearer of the NPP becomes for the next election in 2028. Musa, you have been looking at the figures. You have been doing the polls. We've seen the polls in the past. Bawumia has been leading. It's always been in a commanding lead. Has anything changed? What should we be expecting as the days draw close?
Right. Let me start from the last published poll, which is the December poll. The December poll had Dr. Bawumia on around 45%. That was up from 43% in November. And then Ken was 31%, up from, I think, 18 or 19% last time. So he made a very huge quantum leap in the previous poll. Brian declined by a small margin from 5 to 3%, and the rest were barely recording any significant numbers. But then you have about 11% who were not disclosing their intention, but even though they've made that decision, they're not telling us. And about 9% were undecided. Now, what we've seen is a regional kind of breakdown of this support. If you look at it across the 16 regions, where Bawumia currently leads in 14 of them, except Central Region and Volta Region. He also leads in Western North, but the lead is not that huge. So, we've commenced a daily tracking poll from 29th December. We do Monday to Fridays, except the weekends. So we've been doing that daily tracking every day, except the weekends. So we have the numbers, and tomorrow will be the last day for the month, and we've been doing that since 29th. So tomorrow we'll release the last poll, and then we'll give the country a kind of sneak preview of what we think the results will be on election day.
But we are moving from 43 to 45.
Yeah.
2 percentage points. Ken jumping from 18 to 31%. That is quite huge. What do you think accounts for Ken's, huge jump from 18 to 31?
The interesting thing is that Ken's jump came from previously delegates who were not disclosing their voting intention, and some of those who were undecided. So I believe in that poll, those who were actually meant for him decided to move to him big time. So you saw that big jump. And Bawumia, on the other hand, had about 2% increase, which was largely people who were not also who were undecided decided to break for him by that percentage. But overall, what we are seeing is that the race has kind of stabilized, surprisingly, much earlier than we had thought. We're not seeing movement in the data. Actually, if you ask them whether you've made up your mind, would you change your mind? Less than 10% are telling us that they may change their mind between the time we spoke to them and the election day. So they've made up their mind firmly. And then if you ask them in the last month, have you changed your mind? About 16% said yes, they've changed their mind as who they were going to vote for in the last month, about 16%. So last month has been a bit fluid. I think this month has been stable. Tomorrow evening, we will see the numbers. We'll be able to tell exactly where the race is headed.
11% undisclosed. Who are these people likely to vote for from your experience?
And that's our trade secret. That's what we use tomorrow. What we are doing cleverly is that, you see, we don't just go and ask you who you vote for. We ask you other questions.
Which will give
exactly. For example, we ask them,
idea of where you'll be leaning.
We ask you, do you share the idea that bringing a candidate for the second time helps the party to win the election? Some will say, I disagree. Some will say, I agree. Some will say, we're neutral. Now, you go and look at the views of those who say they will not disclose. What answer did they give you when you ask them this question?
Yeah.
And he's telling you that he strongly disagree. So you could see that this person is clearly Ken voter.
Yeah.
If he strongly agreed, even though he said he won't disclose, you can tell exactly where he belongs. So that is the way we are using to really go to the data and be able to apportion those who say they will not disclose into the right columns. And that will give us a good chance of getting the predictions right.
Sometimes, do you expect anything to change from what we've known? I mean, it does appear from many polls that Bawumia is in some kind of lead. Do you expect anything to change between now and 31st?
I don't know enough to make that determination. So Musa works on a scientific processing of these numbers. We are only observers. Now, what I kind of get a sense of a repetition of 2008. The processes leading to the election. If you remember, it became so acrimonious. There were fisticuffs.
Yes, at that conference. Yeah.
Remember when Paul Afoko was said at the time to be an agent of Alain Chemating, and people were receiving people were receiving slaps and physical slaps. I mean, heavy slaps. You understand? And I see symptoms of that here. Having said that,
but perhaps here the good thing is that it is decentralized. Or look, I mean, we could have localized.
I mean, even the numbers. I mean, there were 2,000 or so people, a little over 2,000. Now is a bigger college. But what I'm saying is that I see something similar based on the expressions of emotions that I'm seeing. Having said that, based on everything put together, I see a Bawumia lead. Maybe not enough to hit the 50%.
60%. 50 or 60?
No, I mean, runoff kind of. That's what I think.
Yes. So that to do the runoff. As Nana Akufo-Addo got his 48% with Alan's 32% in 2008, for 2008 elections. The NPP just decided that, okay, whatever it is, let it go. I am not sure that the NPP is in a position to do that kind of thing. So that if Bawumia is winning, he better wins convincing. Because the stakes are high. So that's what I foresee, that this guy will have a simple lead, right? A simple majority, but maybe not enough not
to make the 50+1.
Exactly.
Wow.
That's one.
That's interesting. That would be interesting. What do you think? Can he cross the line?
Look, if you look at the last data, he was on 45%.
Okay.
11% said they won't disclose.
9% undecided.
9 undecided. He only needs 5% plus 1. So his hurdle to finish at 50 is much closer than the other candidate. So in terms of probability and polling, he is more likely to get
across the 50%.
All things being equal.
And also, the way it works in polling is that he's going to get majority of people who are undecided.
Because he's in the lead.
Because he's in the lead.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
But I mean, he does a scientific polling. So he can, middle class people will listen to him. But there are the lower end people who listen to prophets.
Yeah.
And once upon a time, we had a certain prophet
also
saying his own thing.
Yeah.
And telling us that God, the God that we know in the Bible, woke him up every night to tell him who is going to lead election. Wait. Why do we do that to ourselves? So now God is not busy. Every night he comes to wake you. Hey, sorry.
This person will win.
This person will win election. Why? Why are we doing the gospel like that? So anyway, but there are some constituencies that listen to people like that. So the reinforcement of the hope of one person having leadership, it's found its way to different quarters. We will listen to the likes of Musa Dankwa because we know about polling. But some people, they don't care about Musa Dankwa. They will go to all night and then the pastor or so for and say we're winning. But when is it? 31st, right?
Yes.
31st is just next door. We will see the real deal, whether it is God. Now, if after the thing the pastor comes to say that God is not, there is a different God he was talking about.
Maybe people prayed and things change. People prayed and things change.
Interceded.
You know, interesting. Brian the Champon has been quite popular in the media, but given the numbers Musa is giving us, 5% before, now declined to 3%. What do you think is the issue? Are we just giving him fans, as we say, in the media, and really he is not on the ground?
But Musa is not pulling media people.
No,
no. What I'm saying is that he's pulling delegates.
Delegates, yes.
I think that's the difference. He's pulling delegates. And you see, presidential primaries are growing from. The work is on the ground among the delegates. That's the battlefield. Media action is just for PR. So yes, you could do a lot with media, but haven't we seen people so loud with media and yet on the ground? Look at the last one. There was a certain cheddar, all over the place in the media.
You know, with his tiger line, tigers.
So the media game is there, but on the ground, and look, 96, we saw the same thing. 98, and I'm talking about NPP elections. 98, we saw the same thing. And then we saw, look, when Ejeni Mboating was going 98, everybody thought that he was going to win. And then Damboche came and whipped him.
For General Secretary.
General Secretary. Peter Lajete came, Odoe Sykes whipped him.
For Chairman.
You see, Harun Eseku came, whipped Odoe Sykes. So I'm just saying that the media will be telling one story, but the delegates hold the power.
Fair delegates. How about money? Of course, we've talked about various other things. The influence of money. Yeah. Is it that real that money can change the minds of these many people?
But money can change the minds of many people, but that's a lot of money over a long period of time. But trust me, the people there, none of them is prepared to give a lot of money for a very long time. And that's the problem, because they came in with the promise of money. They went in and they noticed that if we don't take care, we'll drown. So they gave the money small and started pulling back. Then they saw the real colors of the people. That there's no loyalty anywhere. The man is using the left hand to take the money and using the right hand to chop from another person's bowl. In front of him. This time they don't hide it all. Oh yeah,
the cocoa season. You see, variables. Religion, ethnicity, are these showing in your polls?
Before I come to that, let me quickly talk about the Brian numbers.
Yes.
I believe Brian would outperform his polling numbers.
Okay.
From what we've seen in recent data, he would outperform his polling numbers.
Who will he take from?
He will take from both.
Okay.
Take from both. But I don't want to disclose who is going to suffer most today. Tomorrow,
but people think that Brian and Ken share some traits.
The same constituencies.
Yes. By extension, the same constituency. Yes. So Ken is more likely to suffer from a Brian rise.
Yes.
Both.
I think by Saturday, I think what will happen is that
Musa is hedging.
I'm just trying to confuse too much. I think DMB, must condition his mind that he won't hit what he hit in the last primaries. He won't get that. If he gets that would be a miracle. That would take a total collapse of a candidate in the last minute to give him that number. But I think Brian is rising. In the polls, we think he would outperform expectations.
So assuming the primaries, they set the primaries at maybe March or April, Brian will likely do better than he would have done.
You see, in polling, you can't always say that. Even somebody could be doing very well and event suddenly...
All other things being equal.
Others being equal, I think he would have probably done better.
I see. So
now, on the issue of religion, look, among the delegates, less than 7% of them are saying religion is a key factor for them in deciding who they want to elect. And also ethnicity, the same, proportion are saying that. Now, the problem with, not the issue with religion is that, look, when the two candidates are not similar, if they are poles apart, then religion will not play a role at all. It's only when they are competing on certain qualities, then you can use religion to differentiate, or use ethnicity to differentiate. But when it is blue and white, religion doesn't play a major role.
I see. Well, so we wait to see what happens on the 31st of January.
So remember I said about me, I will win that thing. But only that
the margin.
The margin is the question.
Great. Now let's do Ken Ofori-Atta. Ken has been in detention for about 2 weeks now. They were in court on the 20th of January. We understand the matter was heard in camera. The matter has been adjourned to sometime in April, which means he continues to stay in detention. Ghana's ambassador to the US says he tried to avail services to him, but he declined, that he was not going to speak to them or take advantage of the services without his lawyers. Interesting times. Did we see this coming, that Ken, former finance minister, will now be in detention in the US for all the reasons stated?
No, I don't think so. I mean, on immigration issue?
Yes.
No. I don't think anybody saw that coming, because frankly, I mean, if it's Ken Ofori-Atta, of course. If Ken Ofori-Atta says I'm going to the US, nobody questions, an issue of immigration. So I don't think anybody saw that in a crystal ball. We didn't see that coming.
So do you think he will, I mean, people say he should voluntarily come to Ghana because what's happening is not complimentary. Do you think he will want to fight this to the very end rather than...
But that's what he's doing.
Yes. I mean, he could change his mind, but you don't see him changing his mind.
Yeah, but that's what he's doing. I mean, if I were him, I don't know how the laws work. I mean, I want to go to my country. Is as simple as that. For just so that I avoid the whole embarrassment of public ridicule, I want to go to my country. It's just as simple as that.
There are fears that he may not be dealt, I mean, the system will not deal with him, quote unquote, fairly.
Yeah, but those are genuine fears, okay? But the fact that you fear doesn't mean it exists. That's why people lobby. I mean, haven't we heard of NPP appointees who are alleged to have stolen money? Okay, have you heard that Ken stole money? Have you heard it? Me, I haven't heard that Ken Ofori-Atta stole money. I haven't heard that one. But we've heard NPP people who they are alleged to have stolen, and they've mentioned the figures. And they are walking, jumping around. They go to court one day, the next one, they are on social media. What I'm saying is that the embarrassment and the ridicule that he's subjecting himself through is not necessary. This is Ghana. You are Ken Ofori-Atta. The people will fight you, but you also have a way. You have a voice. You also have a network. Maybe I don't know enough, but with a little I know, I think that Ken is better off being in Ghana than being where he is. Especially when you know as a matter of fact that you have not stolen.
So that brings me to this point. I mean, one of the exceptions to extradition is when you're able to establish that it's a political offense or you are being witch hunted, more or less. And his lawyers have alluded to that, and we heard snippets of that earlier. You think that he may want to wage a case on political persecution?
Well, you just said it. That's what he's doing. But what I'm saying is that those things should happen to random people. Like, you are a whole institution in Ghana people look up to. What I'm saying is that he has a point to prove by coming to Ghana to prove that point. He cannot prove that point by staying away and going through all this kind of embarrassment. That's all I'm saying. That I as a person, and I know Ken Ofori-Atta to an extent, I as a person would be prouder of him if he were in Ghana and
Going
would
through the process.
through the process. Because you are not the only NPP person that people have pointed fingers at. In fact, all other persons are here in Ghana. ChannelOne, to me, what haven't they said about him? The National Service people, what haven't they said about them? So I'm just saying that I think that his advisors should advise him to come to Ghana on his own. If you come, they arrest you, they won't kill you. The next is that they take you to court. The processes begin.
But I mean, the fear also is that, I mean, if he comes, he may not be admitted to bail, because one of the key elements a judge will look at in admitting somebody to bail is whether the person is a flight risk or not.
Well,
so with all we have seen,
you understand that.
With
But
all we have seen,
who has caused that?
well,
Who has caused that?
No, he said he wasn't well. He was, and he showed some medical, you know.
Okay, granted that he wasn't well. Is it the case that at some point he traveled to the United Kingdom? From US to the United Kingdom, 7 hours, 8 hours, 9 hours, same as coming to Ghana. So, you know, what I'm saying is that he should cut the chase and deal with the issues. Get NPP people around to support him, get family around for whatever it's worth. Your cousin was the president. So I'm just saying that you cannot be without support in this country. And it's not a battle you can fight alone by staying in Abrochire somewhere. I think that Ken has to be in Ghana to confront the issues so he can get help from Ghana. You understand? So, I mean, look, there are people who have been accused of so many things. It is only when they go through the process of court that we get to find out what the real issues are. At times, it's heightened expectation. They go to court, and then we realize that it's much ado about nothing. And you should find yourself in a better place to know that, indeed, there's nothing to it. So, just come. Because
or maybe he feels there's something to it.
These ICE people, they can be very reckless.
They are serious people.
they are called ICE.
ICE.
I'm a head job.
Somebody may add Bodo.
I'm a head job Bodo.
Musa, I mean, Ken in detention. I mean, nobody would have thought about that. What should he be doing? I mean, should he come back voluntarily, and can he even come back voluntarily? And what should be told him to assuage the fears he has about coming back?
You know, I call Ken uncle, and I really wish he comes home to defend himself. So far, we haven't heard that he's stolen money. No, that's not the charge. And as a former finance minister, look, finance ministers are probably number 2 in terms of power in this country.
Yep.
So, such a powerful person, you cannot reduce yourself to this kind of humiliation by ICE. I saw him in that black suit, and I wasn't happy. And now we are hearing he's taking political angle. And I think the political angle is the safest for him to drag the issue on. Once you take political asylum, then it goes into a different regime. Then they would assess whether you are really political refugee, which means that you will be persecuted if you come back to Ghana based on your political views. But the issue is faced are not political matters; they are financial and economic matters. So that angle, well, it will be tough for him. It will be tough for him. And now that ICE are also holding him, even if he goes on that route of political refugee status, America may probably just send it to Rwanda. He may not want to come to Ghana. And I don't know what Rwanda will do for him. You know, this agreement they've signed with these third-party countries, they will just ship you somewhere because they don't want you to be in a jurisdiction to apply for the asylum. So that could be his fate. But I think, honestly, Ken should come back home. and defend himself. He has the resources to hire the best lawyers he can get in this country. And look, when it comes to bail conditions, come on. I mean, if the bails are so hard, conditions are too harsh, you can go back to the Supreme Court or the court and get it amended. Many of the guys have got to court and got their bills amended, and they're walking around. I think Ghana is not a banana republic. No matter how bad we think we are, systems do work here sometimes, and people are able to really get a good lawyers and to defend them. We're not talking about some rogue state where they can just settle you and put you in vans and whisk you away. I believe it will be good for him to come down, good for the president to have his cousin here to clear his name, because look, I mean, he's tarnishing the president's image as well.
I mean, briefly, you think nobody of that caliber, I mean, Akufo-Addo's caliber or level, is talking to him? That guy, just come back, you know.
I don't know what they're telling him. But if they are telling him, I don't think they're telling him to come home, because from all we've seen, he doesn't want to come home.
Anyway, so that's all we have for you today on what the papers are saying. Thanks so much to Samuel Atta Mensah and then Musa Dankwa. My name is Selom Adunu. Have a good evening.